Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on CrossFit Garage podcast, where we are helping you build a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. So as we get closer to the holidays, a lot of you guys are thinking about what do I do? What strategies should I have? What can I bring into the next year? And sometimes, not sometimes, many times, you guys will think about, hey, what would it take to be coach or to be part of the team or to do something with the gym? So this episode here is going to be for members to think, hey, what would it be like and what do I need to do and what should I do to be part of the team? And coaches, if you're listening or if you're already coaching, you've heard this from me, and this is just going to be a place where I can sit an episode to have people come back and listen to it to know what we expect from coaches. But the primary is to let you members, and I guess anybody else out in the world listening, what you possibly could do at a gym, and our gym in particular, to look forward to becoming a coach or getting be part of what we do. So I think the biggest thing is you need to know about any gym is that it's going to take on the personality of the owner or maybe the most active coach. Could be a general manager. So I'm pretty active in the gym, so it kind of takes on my flavor. When, a couple of years back, we split the garage company, the Garage LLC companies up, and I took over the gym completely. So it's just me, and I was able to put a bit more of my spin to it. The other guys, the other three owners, probably had the same. Well, not probably. They did have a very similar spin, but as you know, when you're in ownership with other people, things will go different directions. So I pulled the team together. We had a great conversation. We pulled out many things that we feel and believe, and so we came up with the things we would stand for and who we want to be. So if you've been with us for 5 years, you've probably seen the transformation, or maybe more than that. Maybe it's been 7. As I get older, time kind of slips away from me. And the reason I say this is some of you that are new may not know the difference, but those of you who've been around a while have seen the change. We have gone from a gym that is a lot about competition to one that is a lot about helping the average person do the unaverage thing, which is basically be healthy and fit. Okay, so as a member, you're thinking, hey, what could I do? So I've got a couple people out there, you know who you are, that have said, hey, I'm interested in coaching. What's the next step? So the first real step is come talk to me. If you're interested, talk to me or Coach Jamie. We will, at least you will enter the sphere of our influence, right? So we'll know what you want to do. I have a coaching document, and I'm going to go through that today with you. And this is what we do. So I've had some members come up and say, hey, I'm interested. What's the next step? And you would think, well, go get your level 1. That's not really it. So for us, if you don't have presence and attitude, if you can't bring the fun, then I really have a hard time using you. So when people come to the gym, and again, this is the attitude of the owner, right? So you could go to a gym that's like, hey, we are definitely just doing, going to the games. And you better have your A game on for lifting and your, all that stuff, the recovery and all that dialed in. That is not us. Ours is, we want you to come back. And if you come back, we know that you can't help but be fit. So we're going to help save people's lives one day at a time so that if somebody goes to the doctor and finds out, hey, I'm pre-diabetic, what should I do? And they join a CrossFit gym, and a year from now, by following the tenets of CrossFit and the coach and, or nutrition like Coach Laura or whatever, that in a year from that point, you could go back to the doctor and he's going to be like, hey, look at that stuff. You're doing pretty good. So that is our goal, is to take, I like to say, my David desk jockeys or my Holly house moms. And of course, I guess it could be Deborah desk jockey, whatever, right? It has alliteration. It rolls off the tongue easy. But to take you guys and give you health, help you obtain that health and fitness over the long run. So first step is, if you're interested in being a coach, is to let one of us know. Once you do that, probably what I'm going to say is, hey, great. One of our tenets is fun. When you're in class, I want to see you introducing yourself to people, which typically you guys do already, which is great. It's part of like who we are, happy, humble, helpful. And so that kind of bleeds over into just the members that we attract and the people that come to us. So my favorite is when you guys bring your loved ones and friends into the gym, because we already know you like them. And if you like them, well, they're probably like us, right? And that just makes it easy to have an atmosphere that is very very directed, right? So we are a glasses half full type of gym. There are very few Eeyores in the group. Yeah, sometimes they exist, and that's okay. They're trying to get out of that. But years back, we would have had like so another one is humble. Years back, we would have very contentious people. We had multiple people on different programs. I don't know why we did this. This is just what we did. And so you could be doing different things than other people, and people would whine and complain about whose programming is better and worse and whatever. And, I don't know, powerlifting is better, Olympic lifting is better, CrossFit is better, long distance is better. And it was just very contentious. So that is not humble. So we got rid of all that. And that helps produce a more humble group. Either you believe in what we're doing or you don't. So we're on that same track. And there is a lot less, fighting between what's going on and what's the best. The best here is the honest truth. The best is whatever you will do day after day, year after year, because if you stack health and fitness, you're going to be better. In my 50s now, well, almost, I have seen many of my contemporaries simply lose the ability to move around because they don't move around. So they're like, oh, it's so hard to get off the ground. Why? Because you don't do burpees. Do some burpees and you'll be like, yeah, getting off the ground is really easy because that's not 50 burpees. Okay, so going back to coaching with us. So the first thing is go out there and be fun, introduce yourself, and let us see that you're doing that. The next is, if you go through our the motto, right? Happy. So go out there, bring fun, humble. Hey, help out. If somebody says, I'm not sure what I'm doing, or if you see something doing wrong, or I don't know, you see paper on the ground or a spill or whatever, you simply help out, right? Helpful. And then humble, you're willing to take feedback. So I love this right now. Skylar is really ramping up in all the reps that he's getting. So he's picked up a couple more classes, and always, and I love this, always when he's done coaching me, he's like, so he's leading the class and I'm in class. Afterwards, he'll come up and say, hey, any feedback? And I love that. And sometimes in his excitement, it's not the right time because hey, the next class is on. But I don't really care. I love his dedication to the humility of becoming better. Am I the best at coaching? No. I'm a 50-year-old man who has struggled in his own life, and I'm not the best. But I do know this. It is hard to see the forest from the trees that you are in. So I don't see my own faults as well as somebody else could look in and say, yes, Andy, you know what you should do is not spin around backwards when you're coaching. I'm like, oh, that's probably a great idea. I didn't even know that. So I love that. Happy, humble, and helpful. All right. So once you're into that realm, we do some shadowing, and there's usually where, let's say Timmy comes to class for a week and watches me coach. And then the next week, I watch Timmy do some coaching, or a little bit like, hey, do the whiteboard brief, hey, do the warm up, and get some of those reps on you. Once that's kind of going on, we'll give a thumbs up, like, hey, I think we can do this. You should look at getting your level 1. So the ticket to ride for us is the level 1. My insurance covers the class and everything when there's a level 1 in the building. So you have to go to CrossFit or sign up for CrossFit and do your level 1. I think it's maybe $1,200 now, and it lasts, the certification or certificate, whatever it is, lasts for 5 years. We encourage everybody to level up to their next one, which is level 2. So the level 1 just gives you a knowledge of CrossFit. The level 2 dives into your coaching style, and that's something that we do as well. So like right now, Coach Jamie sends out a weekly email and says, hey, here are the 3 things or 4 things that I'm really looking at. How are you guys doing on these things? And it could be various. It's just whatever's on her mind at the time, or whatever maybe she sees that there's a stumbling block. So, we're always trying to develop coaches. So coaches, if you're listening to this, be watching your email. Make sure you put some feedback to it. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of this. No, I'm going to go through all of this material for you. The first thing I want you to know is that we do have value, mission, vision, and a motto. And it would be great if everyone knew this off the top of their tongue, but we should post it around more. It's not out there that much. And so that's on me. I need to do that. So our motto, it's pretty easy, and that is on the wall. It's, we are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in their 90s. I mean, that's the title of this podcast, right? It's sort of the title. We want you to have health as well as money, and you got to have both of those to live well into your 90s. Our value, we really dive or double down into coaching, mentoring, and accountability. So if you're not into that or you don't need it, you do not need us. Everything I say is free on the internet. We even give away our programming. It's on the internet. It posts 5 days out, so you could just follow us. I know Andy Wilson, he follows us on the internet. The timing of his life with children and so forth, and the fact that he has a sweet in-house gym in his garage, he can do all this. And it was great to have him at the alumni week. He's like, I don't really get to push myself all that often because I'm not near people. And man, he did this workout and crushed it. And he's like, I don't know, I think I did okay. He did so okay. It was like outstandingly okay. It was awesome. But so anyway, that's our value. So anybody that's out there, and if you're thinking, what should I get involved in CrossFit Garage? That's probably the primary thing. You are going to pay the money for coaching, mentoring, and accountability. It is not Anytime Fitness where you pay $10. It is also not, well, I mean, you can do personal training. We do that, but it's group training. So there will be coaching, but it's not 100% about you all the time. So, the coach takes a view of what's going on in the gym. We triage, fix the big thing first, and then narrow it down. When I coach, I try to make sure I look at each individual person doing a lift. And there are some people that have been here forever that there's no amount of coaching that I've given them to make them fix some of the things they do. So I'm like, hey, and then we look at each other and they're like, I know. I'm like, okay, we move on. But anyway, so it's coaching, mentoring, and accountability. The mentoring comes in the form of the goal reviews, and accountability. We want you to show up to the gym, right? You're going to have somebody that's going to be watching you. You don't pay extra for those things. That is what comes in the package, right? Mission. So the long statement is our mission is to help you reach your goals by mentoring you to become the hero of your own story. Through coaching you in health and fitness in your body, heart, and mind. We utilize proven tools like CrossFit methodology, group and personal training, macronutrients, goal and habit setting to empower you towards success. So the thing there in our mission is basically to help you become the hero of your own story. I think it is pretentious to say that you could not have health and fitness without us. So I'm not about that. Even in like the nutrition aspect of it, Laura does a lot of habits-based nutrition coaching. And so that's basically a month of going one-on-one with her. And then she's like, be free, use this stuff to your own heart's content, right? Even with what we do now. So we'll do a bring a friend week and an alumni week. When we do those, a lot of times when the friends come in, they're like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't moving correct. Or the alumni come in and they'll say, hey, I struggle with, overhead squats. Can you watch me on that? I'm like, yes. So they're getting some of this extra coaching on them, right? Help them become the hero of their own story, even when they're not with us. All right, vision. To inspire and empower and coach lifelong health and fitness strategies inside and out so that you can live your best days now as well as in retirement. So again, going along our motto. So the vision is that you can live your best life now as well as in retirement. So that's mission, vision, and our motto, and the value that we see, the primary three aspects that we want: coaching, mentoring, and accountability. So that is us. If that sounds like something you need, great. Coaches, you can't become a coach with us if you don't already have this. So one thing that I have learned over time, and it is said over and over and over, it is hard to teach somebody presence and attitude. It is easy for me to teach somebody skill. Let's sit down and go through reps. But if the glass isn't half full, then it's hard to bring you into the team. I'll give you a great example. Natalie said, hey, I'm interested. What could I do to be part of the team? And immediately we all looked at each other and we're like, yeah, that's a no-brainer because she is so fun. When you walk in the room with Natalie, she knows, she cares. She's looking at you. She's smiling at you. Her attention is centered on you. And you just feel uplifted and more full when Natalie is around you. That's what we want. When people come to the gym, when new members come to the gym, I guess there is a company that I like to listen to. It's called Best Hour of Their Day. And that's kind of what you're looking for. I recognize fully that sometimes, especially in this world today where people work from home, if you come to the gym, the coach, may be the first person in your day to high five you, to touch you physically, right? Or to knuckle bump you, right? Or to even get some positive affirmation from not your boss or a coworker, right? Like, hey, well done. I like the way that you, whatever, right? So we know that we need to bring the best out of our day. So one aspect of a person or a coach that we definitely need is to check your problems at the door. So sometimes you guys can pick up on it and see that, oh, wait, Andy's not making as many jokes, or, Jamie this or that, or Danny, whatever. Actually, at 5 a.m., it's hard to tell anybody's emotions because everyone's so tired, right? But we have to leave our baggage at the door to bring you the uplifting experience. Okay, so let me move on to some of, or the list that I give to all coaches. And if you guys want to see this, I'm happy to send it to you. It's my document that I've written up over 16 years that's been edited and molded and whatever by that experience and other inputs around me. So let me back this up too. I listen to probably 15 different podcasts. I would say 90% of them have something to do with health and fitness. And of those, I'd probably say 50% are other gyms podcasts. So I listen to, let me think of it, CrossFit Downtown, whatever. I listen to that podcast, CrossFit Invictus, whatever. I listen to their podcast to hear and to understand what they're doing, because they may say something that I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. I haven't thought of that. Let me try it. I know the best way to grow and expand is to forever be the student. Okay. So I've got this Google Doc that is viewable. So if you want it, just email me and I'm happy to send it to you. I'm going to read it, or I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it and explain it for you. But those that are looking to be coaches, those that are coaches, this is going to be very important for you. If you're a member and you're thinking, well, do I care? Yes, hold us accountable to it. So the accountability goes the other way. If you see us messing up, man, let us know. We want to do well. So telling us, so when I say, hey, Timmy, you need to go lower in your squat, that is not me giving you like, oh, you're so horrible, you're so evil, you don't squat all the way. No, that's a coach doing the coach thing. I'm keeping you accountable to our standard. The standard is a standard. When you squat, your hips go below your knees, below that parallel mark. As a member, you keep us accountable. If we don't do what we say we do, just let us know. And we don't think, oh, you're so mean, you told me that I didn't do the thing I'm supposed to do. No, that's perfect. That's you giving us that human feedback. Hey, you missed something. Okay. So let me run through this stuff. I would say the pervasive theme in everything I do, which my dad distilled upon me, and he actually wrote a book. There's this thing called Storyworth where it gives you a bunch of questions and you just answer them. And then you can say, print me the book. And it prints out this cool book of your life and the questions you answered. And one of the things he said in there was, when I pass away, the thing I want to be known for is that I helped people understand that they become what they think, that a positive attitude is good, that you should remove negative thinking, that to smile and to hug and bring fun is worth it and valuable. And that's a huge part of who I am. So I know that also humor will keep people, keep people's attention. So here's how it starts. I tell everyone there's the 3 F's when it comes to us at the gym coaching. It is fun, fitness, and for coaching. And yes, I know that's not really enough. After years of saying this, somebody said, well, you could say form. That works. I'm like, yes, it does, but it's not as funny. So I'm going to leave it for coaching. All right. First thing comes up here is safety, fun, and fitness. They pay for instruction, so let's give them what they came for. Don't rush through class. If it's too much, cut things out. Coaching is key. So you should, I would say if you came 5 days a week, 4 of those days, you should get some piece of coaching. It could simply be, hey, make sure you breathe. That's okay. There are some times when I come up to you members and I say, hey, look, I'm going to give you a piece. You move really, really well, but there is a next level coaching. Take it if you want. You don't have to. That's me setting it up for you don't want it. That's okay. Maybe you're happy in the motion that you use. That's totally fine. I want to give you what I see. This is a coach coaching to the next level. Do we need it? Maybe not all the time. So as an example, it could be like Timmy, when he does a heavy push press, his legs, instead of bending at the knees, he pushes his legs out like he's doing a jumping jack. And I'm going to say, hey, I saw what you did. You're doing a heavy weight. I love what you're doing. I wouldn't really change anything, but you're probably going to feel it in your knees if you continue going wide rather than in that drop down stance where you're, dropping your pelvis rather than spreading your legs to get that distance. And that person, Timmy, could be like, yes, I hear you, but whatever. Totally fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. We want to next level coach you. A lot of the easy ones are up front, like, hey, we need to get depth below parallel. Let's squat a little bit lower. Let's take weight off to get to that distance. It is form before weight before speed. So I'm not going to ask you to do a 95-pound thruster in Fran as an exercise if you can't handle the weight of 95 pounds with the proper range of motion of the front squat or the thruster, right? Okay. Review the coach's notes and modify so that you can lean on a well thought out plan with the stimulus, points of performance, and progressions. So what does that mean? Many of us don't understand that CrossFit lives in the realm of couplets and triplets. So like a push-ups and run, or triplets would be something like a deadlift, pull-up, sit-up, right? So three movements, right? Couplets and triplets. And the time domain is between 8 and 12 minutes. And you may be thinking to yourself, wait, what? That is not what I've heard throughout my life. That's right. CrossFit is breaking the rules. No longer do you need to go for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, which is one reason I detest long workouts. Now, we do need to push the edges. So yes, some days we just lift. And yes, some days there are a 10K. Now, not really a 10K, because every time we ever schedule a 10K, we get like 3 people show up. So we don't do 10Ks anymore. We just disguise the 10K with other stuff. And I'm going to pause you for a moment. Man, I love technology. So had I done this back in 2008 when I originally thought I should do a podcast, I'd like to, pausing this and then restarting it would have taken all of my computer processing power. But yeah, that was about a 30-minute gap there while I tried to work on my son's windshield. But okay, so going back into this stuff, the next thing is presence and attitude. So smile and bring the energy, no matter your day. Treat it as their best hour. So I already mentioned this. This is pretty important. So I know this after doing this for years, as well as, my whole life. I'm an electrical engineer from Georgia Tech, went into sales. And so I took my engineering and I did do that. So I was an expert in the thing as I worked with customers, just like I am now. I'm an expert in the thing while I work with members, right? So I knew that you need to bring presence and attitude. You need to smile. You need to be on your A game. You can't show up to the gym sick, and you can't show up to the gym, broken on the inside. Broken on the outside is okay. Like, hey, my shoulder hurts. That's just where it is. I've done many a times where I'm like, hey, today's bar muscle ups, and I cannot show you that because I have not warmed up. I am like coaching you guys. And the times I didn't do that, I was like, my shoulder hurts now. And if you try to do a bar muscle up without warming up, that is probably not the smartest thing. So anyway, bring the presence and attitude. So coaches, if you have a bad day, let us know. We have enough people that we can sub in and out. Okay, another one that we like to do is show that we care. Let me back that up. I meant to tell you the story. So I know that if we bring fun, you'll smile, which is great, and you'll come back, which is greater. If you come back, then you will gain fitness and mobility and range of motion and strength and all that. So stacking the days on each other, it's just going to happen. Like I've said before, I will guarantee anybody, if you come for 4 days a week for an entire year, listen to Coach Laura on nutrition. If you're not fitter than a year ago, I'll double your money back. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. I know I'm going to win, which is great because that means you won as well. All right. So if they're having fun, they'll come back. If they come back, then they will find that fitness. And if they're finding that fitness, they're going to know that we care because we're leading them towards that. And once they know that we care, they'll care what we know, and you guys become easier to coach because you know I'm looking out for you, right? So anyway, we also want to say everyone's name. So say everyone's name during class. It makes you feel important, and we want you to know that you are. Give everyone specific correction for their success. Ask them about goals and objectives for today's WOD. So what does that mean? There are many times, let me take 2 different people. So let's say Joe, who's been at the gym for 10 years, walks in and we're doing Fran. And then we have Timmy, who just signed up, and this is like his second class. The goals for that workout are entirely different. Joe is like, I am going to crush this bad boy. What tips can you give me? Well, Timmy just got here. I'm going to tell him, let's scale everything way back. Let's make sure we're doing the right movements, and let's have let's go easy at this. Now, the stimulus for Fran is it should be a 5-minute workout. And when you're done, you may not be sweaty, but you bled out all of your glycogen stores, and your fight or flight has been burned up. And you are going to lay on the floor and be super tired and be like, I don't really want to do anything after that. Now, for Timmy, being brand new, that's not going to be what we're doing. I may tell him, look, I want you to work out for 5 minutes. I want you to push, but we're going to then do some stretching and rolling, some other stuff to make sure that you have a good mechanic, or you're mechanically sound in these movements, right? So we're going to change that completely. So we want to make sure we know what you're doing for the day. Now that we're following CAP, CrossFit Affiliate Programming, one cool thing is they do give us an outline for the day. And in that, they tell us their stimulus, which Being that I've done CrossFit for 16 years, it's pretty easy to identify the stimulus. If, like the other day, we did, it was a workout called DT, but it was 7 rounds. Every 3 minutes, you do the deadlifts, hang power cleans, and push jerks, right? And so at 155, there's no way I could do it. I can't even do regular DT in that time limit. Joe, well done, you did. But so I scaled back the weight. And then I knew because they were giving us that time domain of we want you to do it in 3 minutes, there's supposed to be some rest. And so basically burn it down, then rest a bunch, and then burn it down and rest a bunch. Now, knowing that, the weight 155 is not something that I could do. I had to drop it back in order to hit the stimulus of that workout. The coach should help you understand that stimulus. We should be telling you, like Skylar did, it was great. He said, hey, the first time you do this, you should have about 1.5 minutes left. So you have some rest. And then as you get towards the end, you'll have about 1 minute or less of rest. And that's when you understand your body, you know what weights to pick. And your coach can help you out with that. Okay. We want to coach members to correct their form and let them practice so that they can be doing that correctly on their own. Start class on time. Shout loud and round them up. Go over the warm-up and the WOD. So that's the whiteboard brief. Demo of movements and standards. One thing that we have tasked ourselves to do is to stop talking while we demo. And those that are in my class, you probably are like, Andy, you're weird now. And so what I'll do is I'll do the demo of whatever the movement is. Let's just say it's a deadlift. I'll stand up, say it like there, and then I'll turn 45 degrees and do it one more time. That's in the level 2. That's really what they want us to do. And I want to make sure people see the movement. So we do it 2 times and we're supposed to not talk. So we're holding ourselves to that higher standard. Anyway, explain needed topics and the focus for the week. Warm up the class together unless, so we do have caveats in here, unless someone is hurt and they need to do something on their own. So make sure, and we do a pretty good job of this now, but make sure the warm-up is specific towards moving them into the workout. So if, I don't know, let's say we're doing Fran, that's thrusters and pull-ups, and your entire warm-up is jog-based. Well, we're like, well, that's nothing, that's not what we were supposed to do. We should have done something to have us go below parallel, maybe some air squats, maybe some presses, right? So we would build slowly through the warm-up to get you to the movement, the thruster and the pull-up. Coach, practice all the movements. Explain the range of motion and the standards. Assist in scaling and modification. This is something that's huge and key and important. Many people still think, oh, when I go to CrossFit, I must be able to do everything exactly right all the time. That is not it. We want to scale and modify to help get you there. So here's what I do know. If you don't ever practice doing pull-ups, then you will never get pull-ups. But if you give me 5 years, I can pretty much give anybody a pull-up no matter where you start. If you give me 5 years, it's going to happen. If you give me 1 year, it just sort of depends on your starting point. So we don't expect you to be able to do a pull-up right away, but if you give us time, we will get you there if you listen to the things we tell you. Many of the things we say isn't hard to do. It's just inconvenient. For example, I had the podcast the other day that came out that was talking about diabetes. It's not hard to aim yourself in the right trajectory, exercise, and don't eat stupid crap. Pretty easy. Except it's not, right? So same thing with this. If you give us time and you listen, we will walk you through this. It's not hard, but it isn't easy unless you just simply show up every day. One huge thing I love about the gym is I own the place and I still literally just show up and the coach tells me what to do. I love that. I don't have to think about it. Anyway, it is the longest I've ever been consistently working out in my life. It's been 16 years and I'm actually 17 years because I started before we started the gym. Okay, so let's see. Ensure new folks take it easy. So we always want you to be able to come back tomorrow. So if anything you look at the workout and you're like, I don't know, I'm going to go too hard, do whatever. Tomorrow I'll just not do anything. That's not it. We want you to come back tomorrow. Even if you're just coming back, I've done this before. I come back, I do the warm up, then I jump on the rower and I just row while everyone else is doing the thing. And then I stretch and I roll them out. Okay, ensure that new folks take it easy. It would be wise to keep new folks to 5 to 10 minutes of sweating for their first week so as to not create a huge amount of soreness. So that could be intentional, depending on what the workout is, right? We have various ways to do that, but we want you to be slow and smart. Set up the WOD. 3, 2, 1, go. Walk the floor. Offer encouragement. Coach minor tweaks as needed. Be sure to say names. Best, keep a board with you and write down some issues that you could talk to them about later after the workout. High five everyone when they finish. Cool down. Now, I wish I could fix this with us. We have a culture of not doing it well. I would say maybe 30% of us do the cool down, rolling out and stretching, but the rest of us get done and run out the door. Man, that is bad for you. And I wish we could stop it. Maybe I guess it's on me as a leader. I do it. And some people do it with me, or some people do it on their own. But it is not easy to get everyone to roll together. When the workout's done, they're like, I'm out. I'm like, even if there's 15 minutes left, man, roll out and stretch. It's going to be awesome for you. I promise you. Anyway, so cool down. As I roll and stretch, mention items of the instructions that you took down, as well as anything else going on that week. Thank everyone for coming in. Go back into Wodify. Type in some comments if you need to. All right, so some other points in there. Good, say everyone's name. Better, say everyone's name and give them 90 seconds of individual attention. Best, say everyone's name, give them 90 seconds of individual attention, and connect them with another member that they have something in common with. So you hear me say that a lot. Sometimes I don't know what the commonality is, so I just make it up. Like Randy's great about this. He'll let me say, just say, hey, Randy, this is Michelle. Randy is into sawdust, nitroglycerin, and fertilizer. And he's like, I don't make bombs. And then they laugh and they talk about how stupid I am. And I'm like, whatever, that's fine. Now they can have a good communication point. Okay, so other things that coaches you need to know. Members, if you see us doing this, hold us accountable to this. If you have a class with 0 members in it, then clean or organize. No phones or watches during class, except to video. Don't eat during class. Don't drink or hold a PVC while class. So it's kind of weird when you have a PVC out and you're leaning on it, rolling on it. Just put that stuff down, right? Clean up if needed. Better is to help the members understand how to clean up. Last morning coach, blow out the gym. Last evening coach, blow out the gym. Do not work out with the class. So the only caveat there is if it's a partner workout and there's like one person, then yeah, we can jump in. But coaches do not work out with members. I have, who was it? Left the gym, didn't leave the gym, moved. So picked up another gym. And I think he said he was paying like $250 a month. And they just opened up a 5 a.m. class. And I was like, oh, how's it going? Well, it's interesting because I work out with the owner who is also the coach. I'm like, oh, so who coaches the class? He's like, well, the owner and the coach, but he also works out. I'm like, so basically you're paying $250 to work out with somebody that's not actually coaching you. And he's like, when you say it like that, yeah, that sounds weird. So we want to give you what you bought, which is coaching, mentor, and accountability, not a workout partner. When other people sign up, I'll get you that workout partner. Okay, now on the caveat side of it, that like I know with the open coming up, I'm going to do something to help Louis out so that he actually has a workout partner to push him, but that's totally different. All right, next thing, do not leave class early. So sometimes we finish early, coach is supposed to stay there. Do not leave the floor without swapping out with another coach. So I am pretty good about staying on the floor, but I know like use the bathroom beforehand, bring a water. Okay, we're good. Sometimes I mess up and I drink my whole water and I'm like, man, I really need to use the bathroom, but I still have another class to do. In which case, that's up to me to figure out how to do that. It's harder when you're in the morning and I'm like, well, I drank some coffee, but I didn't eat yet. So we're still kind of tweaking that, but you should never have a coach that's like pounding oatmeal while trying to coach. If you see that, of course, let me know. And that shouldn't be happening. If a problem arises, contact the GM as soon as possible. If an injury happens, address it and contact the GM as soon as possible. The AED is over by the water fountain. Scale way back for new folks and blame it on me. So sometimes we'll tell new folks, they're like, hey, I've done CrossFit before. I want to go full tilt. And you're like, well, how long has it been? Well, it's been 5 years. I can't let you do that because the owner will get mad at me, right? Yes, it is true. I will get mad at them, but blame it on me. I'm okay being the bad guy, especially when it makes us the good guy for helping people be healthy and fit and being able to come back tomorrow. So these are the things that we're going to hold our class to and things we try to deliver to you. There are other aspects. Coaches, make sure you read the coach's notes in Wodify about the workout. Members, if you're thinking, how do they know what to say for the workout? Well, one, when you have enough reps on you, it's kind of easy to do. I don't remember who it was. It was, I do remember. It was Jordan, Jamie, Mark, and 2 other people. We did an individual. So if you've got friends or family and you're like, I would like for them to taste test CrossFit, but I don't want them to come into a class and they don't want to come to bring a friend. That's where you come to me and we do a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 or 5-on-1 or whatever. And I'll say, we'll work with you. So like, Timmy, when does your wife, husband, friend, whatever want to come in? And you're like, I don't know, how about 9:30 on Tuesday? I'm like, perfect. I'll create a session just for me and you. Anyway, what we did with those 5 was I went to the board and said, I think the workout was Chad. It was like 1 billion step ups. They're like, we're not doing that, right? Man, of course not. So I said, what movement would you like? And they gave me a couple movements. We put them on the board. We had some push, we had some pull. And I said, okay, so now I want everyone to be able to go at their own speed. So we walked through and we created an EMOM. So every minute on the minute, we did a movement and we switched it. And there was 4 sets. So basically you rotated through 4 sets and the 5th one was going to be rest. So we had some intentional rest. But somebody said they wanted a longer workout. I'm like, great, that'll be a 20-minute workout. We'll get through each of the sets and 4 times with some built-in rest. I'm like, all right, this is going to be perfect. And you can go at your own speed. So if the new guy, Timmy, didn't feel up to it, he could do 3 push-ups and no one would know that he only did 3 because it doesn't really matter. Nobody's watching him to move on. So we will do those classes with you to help you bring new people into the gym. And yeah, man, I forgot where I was going with that. So just pretend like there was an actual point. So our goal is to help coach. Oh, that's what it was, the coach's notes. So we know the stimulus because we can look at it and say, hey, we should adjust and move like this. And this is what these would pair well. Like a press and a push-up would not pair well together because that's 2 push movements with your arms and it's monostructural, so you're going to burn out really fast. So the stimulus of the workout will be written in our coach's notes. It is easy for us to determine that. I mean, a lot of times it'd be like, hey, if it's an EMOM 20 minutes, okay, well, there's probably going to be more cardio unless there's built-in rest, in which case there's places to push, right? If it's for time, typically a for time is rush it as fast as you can. Now, they're programming for a slightly more fit crowd than our average member, which I dislike, but that's what's coming to us. So many of the times we're scaling back things, which is totally fine. It's the intended response they're looking to get. So I am not a huge fan of nailing down the weights. Now, I get it. If you're trying to say, hey, let's have something that everyone can compete against and have a number like Fran, it's a 95-pound thruster. That's just what it is. Then we all know what it is. But I think more appropriate would be a percentage of your thruster. So let's say my thruster is 190 pounds is my max. I could say 50% of your 1 rep max, Fran, go. So now 95 pounds is that exact weight, but somebody else that doesn't have such a muscle stamina or muscle strength could change the thruster to something else so that they can get to the movement, right? So basically it would elicit a similar response. So when we do DT for, let's say, Matt, he's like, oh yeah, 155, that is nothing. For me, 155 pounds on the bar, putting it over my head is going to be absolutely crushing. And it is not going to go well. I know this. Much like in Jumanji, strength is my weakness. And so I would need to scale that back in order to elicit the same response that Matt is feeling or that CrossFit headquarters had intended, because I am weaker than the average guy. Totally fine with me. I make up for it in the hip thrusting ability. So the core engagement, I can make up for things right there. So my legs do more of the work. Totally fine. But knowing the stimulus is key. We do add things into the programming because not everybody comes 5 days a week. And so we don't want you to miss out on an opportunity. Now that Evie is done with soccer, she and I are we'll participate in the 4 o'clock class. So we'll be in there doing whatever. Sometimes I adjust it because I actually coach the 4 o'clock class on Monday. And then on Wednesday, there's a conference call. So I just got to move my workout around a little bit, but I'll still bring her into the gym. Anyway, my point is, I don't always do the extra because I've already done 5 days in the week and the extra isn't necessarily meant for me. So I don't do it. You'll see me cap out early and make sure I stretch and roll. That's okay because I know where I am and I know what my goals are. If you're unsure, talk to your coach. Coaches, you should know that not everybody is approaching this in the same way, and we want to meet them where they're at. So one of the hardest things is to have different mindsets and abilities in your class and to scale and engage everything correctly. It becomes easier with time, and you get to, it's like anything, you start to know, all right, Timmy wants to get to the workout quick and is going to do it RX and is going to go all out. Or Mikey is brand new and I need to change it like this. Or Sally is, got a sore shoulder. So whatever. So I need to adjust like that. You start seeing that. And you also know that some people like, hey, I am never going to push for a 2-minute Fran. That is just not what I'm interested in doing. So don't push me in that. You may mention it, but then you need to read the room and say, hey, they were not open to that. Let's move on. Totally fine. Here's the secret of CrossFit. If you come day after day for a year, you are going to be fitter. It doesn't even matter if you just half-ass it though. You could literally come to do what we do and just half-ass it, and you are going to be fitter than you were before because we're doing functional movements. So getting up off the floor, right? Putting a weight above our head. We're helping you build a core competency of gymnastic movement, so your own body through space, as well as moving a weight, external weight, right? So, the barbell or dumbbells or whatever through space. You are there, simply by coming in, you are going to promote your own health and fitness, even if you came and just did half of everything they said. You can, can I guarantee that? I probably could, depending on where you start. If you came in like me, 16 into it, it probably wouldn't be great for you. But if you were brand spanking new and you did half of everything we did, yeah, I feel pretty confident in that. If you want to take me up on that challenge, double your money back, just do half of what we said for a year, let me know and we'll work out a plan. There'd probably be some things that I need to adjust, but I think we could probably do that because, I am that confident in CrossFit's ability to deliver the goods. It is the biggest hack to health and fitness that I have ever found. And hack, like shortens the process big time. And again, if you want to shorten the process even more for anything you do, hire a coach or a mentor. And that's kind of what we're doing right here when we jump into group classes. Okay, so if you are a coach right now, I'll probably have you listen to this podcast and you'll be like, oh, that's interesting. This is what we believe in what we do. If there's something that I'm missing, let me know and I'll make a second one and we'll add stuff to it. If you are a member and you're thinking, I would like to be part of the team, how do I do that? So I value loyalty immensely. The longer you've been here, the more you've given to the group, the more I bend over backwards to get you what you need. For example, if Jamie said, I need to take the month off, but then come back and still work, I'd be like, you've got it. You've given to us in the community and this team and me so much that I would find a way to make that happen, right? If she said, Andy, I need to take all of your classes because whatever, I'm like, sure, let's do it. On the flip side, if you're brand spanking new, and I don't have a spot for you, we can do some shadowing and whatever and get you into there. But loyalty means a lot to me, which is good. Just stick to it. Show me what you got, right? And we'll get you there. Also, I know this, every 6 months, things change. So, as a great example, in the time that we were doing this, let's see, Gabby had approached us and said, hey, I think I'm interested in being a coach. She's been here for like 18 years now, probably 8 years, somewhere around there. I'm like, hey, this is awesome. Let's talk about it. There wasn't an opportunity. And she went and got her level 1. We did some shadowing and then poof, all of a sudden there was an opportunity and she picked up, man, what were you doing, Gabby? The Wednesday class? So she picked up Wednesday for her start. I'm like, look, so the opportunity presented itself. Same thing with Laura. She had been a member for a long time. She said, I'm interested in coaching. I'm like, I don't really have anything. And then as we were going through the process, poof, Thursday comes available. I think she did Thursday and then every other Friday for a bit, but now her daughter does soccer. So that kind of, again, bend over backwards. Hey, what do I need to do? She's like, I think it's fast footwork is on Friday. I can't do that. I'm like, great, I will pick that up. So I picked up Friday. But anyway, same thing with Skylar. Skylar came to us maybe a year and a half ago and said, I'm interested in coaching. We didn't have anything at the time. Fast forward a few months later, level 1 and now coaching because there's opportunity and availability, right? So things change, the world changes. So let us know if you're interested. I know some of you guys, Louis has mentioned something about getting his level 1. Oh man, now I'm forgetting. I know, obviously, like you guys that are brand new, you had Natalie as your PT, so she's doing that with us. She's also expressed interest in getting her level 1 and getting on the floor. So there's a couple of you guys out there. If you want to do something else for the team, let me know. If you've got an idea or a thought that you want to run, man, I am happy to do something or try something new. Also, try things that we've already tried in the past. So it really just comes down to let me know. I will say the most nerve-wracking thing is to coach people that you were used to just be in class with. So they're like, why are they getting to coach? Here's what I know though. When you start seeing, and you have those reps, your eyes open up tremendously. And usually when people start coaching, they're like, Andy, there's so many people who don't go complete range of motion. I'm like, hey, I know we coach them and we tell them, but I am not going to stop them in the middle of the workout and be like, no, none of those reps count. Now, we used to do that, and that was very jackass of us, but none of those reps count. Do it over, right? Instead, what I'm going to do is write it on the board, and I'm going to come back and say, hey, Timmy, when you were doing Fran, I would say half of your thrusters were not to the proper range of motion. Keep an eye on that, and let's really dive into it, right? So we do want to coach you to success, but we're not going to the games. So I am not going to throttle somebody just because, I don't know, they didn't push up all the way before they stood up in the push jerk. It's close, and that is good for us right now. Don't let perfect be the enemy of done. And I know this, simply coming in is sometimes the hardest thing. If you can do that hardest thing and get in, then just doing some of what we do is going to get you insanely fitter than you are before and return some of those skills. So, if you feel like you are somebody who sees the world as the glass is half full, then you're already on the right track. If you bring the fun, you're on the right track. If you are interested in investing and helping people, then you're on the right track. If you're humble and can take instruction and give instruction in a positive manner, then you're on the right track. We are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now as well as in our 90s. We are definitely not going to the CrossFit Games. We do use our fitness to do other things. Like I do these massive races, these huge endurance races, but it's an expression of fitness. That's even just for fun. When Evie and I did this last run, we're like, hey, let's cut last adventure race. We cut the whole thing short by half the time because the first thing was let's have fun. Well, actually, the first thing was let's be safe. And then it was let's have fun. All right, guys, this is us and what we do for coaching. If you're interested in seeing that document, I'm happy to send it to you. It's a Google Doc, so you just have to click the link and it pops up for you. It is set so that anyone with the link can view it. I'm double checking that right now. Yep. You can't change it because it's my Google Doc. So it's the same sort of document that I would do for your goals. So it's just Google has all these spreadsheets and documents and they're online so that they can live and breathe and change as they go. Of course, I'm the only one changing this, but it does give you access. If you're in the local Woodstock area and you're looking for coaching, mentoring, and accountability, and you want to become the hero of your own story, that's us. You have found us. You want to, basically you just go to our website. Actually, let me pull that up right now and tell you what you would do. If you go to our website, it's going to pop up with the intro. It's like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. It says, it does say, become the hero of your own story. Right below that, there's this button where you can click. It says, schedule your free no sweat intro. So it's a pun. So it's no sweat. It's going to be easy. You just don't fret. Don't worry. It's also no sweat. You're just talking. We're not going to make you come in and start doing things right away. Let's talk first because we might find out that we're not fit for each other. We literally have people come in and say, hey, I will start, but I want a huge discount. I'm like, great. We have people just down the street that give huge discounts and do no coaching. That is awesome. Go do that. We can't deliver to you the level that we want if we discount things tremendously. So we don't do discounts. We don't do discounts for anyone, not even me, even when my own family joins. No discounts. Everyone pays, and we give everyone the same service. We had, this is funny, Nick, at one point, Nick Lubbers, he said something, he goes, I feel like I don't get coached very much. This is like 5 years ago. And I said, well, that's actually my fault because you don't pay anything. He was doing some classes for us. We were doing some bartering. We don't barter really ever anymore. We pay for work now. But I said, you don't pay us. You do that class. And so I've told people, hey, don't spend time on customers that pay, which, I mean, that's stupid, right? Everyone should be paying and everyone should be spend time on. So he's like, well, that's fair. I guess I should be paying. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true, right? So we've fixed all that. Everyone gets coached and everyone pays at the gym. All right. So below that, there's also a form you can fill out. That form does the exact same thing. It says, fill out this form for a free no sweat intro. It'll set you up in our system. What happens when you get into our system? You go into UpLaunch, which is our communication tool, and Wodify, which is our member tool, basically. UpLaunch allows us to communicate with you. You'll immediately get a text from us. It's an automated text and an automated email. Automation is great. It allows us to deal with the volume of leads that we get. That is followed up by a human, usually Jamie, and then followed up, if you don't interact with, by Natalie. And if you don't follow up with her, then by me. So you get 3 touches from humans, and we still do it all by hand because we want that human interaction. So you will get a text from us or a voicemail or a call or a video text. And then you fall into some automation, and it's up to you if you want to partake or not. The automation lasts for years, and I send out an email probably every week, so you'll see a lot of cool, interesting stuff. But that's how you get involved with us. We also have, you can click on the rates and then fill out that form, and the rates come in, I think one of the emails, I don't remember where it falls, but you'll get that too. But essentially, we're right now, as of December 2nd, 2023, we are $175 for group classes. Now, funny, yesterday, CrossFit sent out an email saying, hey, you know your affiliate fee that you were paying, ours was $1,000. They said, hey, it's going to bounce up to $4,500. And you think, well, I mean, hey, $1,000 to $4,500, that's not like that much money. But when you do budgeting and you try to run a very tight ship, jumping any one expense by 450% is a lot. So it's just stupid, the number of expenses that go into running a gym. And we try to fight that. Right now we're on our push, 125 members. So 125 by 425. And we're doing extra things to help create that opportunity. First, we'd love to fill the gym with people you love. And second, it would be people who are in the local community that already fit who we are. All right, guys, we are here if you need us. Y'all take care. And thank you for being part of the gym or considering us. We want you to find success.